Welcome back. Now, recovering from the worst drought of 2019, where Namibian farmers are rebuilding their herd. According to the Statistician General's reports, Namibia noted an increase in the value of exports during August 2021, which grew by 41.5% to 7.1 billion Namibia dollars, up from 5 billion in July 2021. Now, according to the Meat Board statistics, the Namibian producers continue to receive the best prices, just as their counterparts in Australia, the United States of America, and the European Union, who are funded by their respective governments. Now, how do these factors speak to Namibian farmers? Mr. Patrick Liebenberg, who is the Executive of Livestock Procurement and Production, as well as Ms. Rosa Tobias, Manager of Stakeholders Relations, as well as Corporate Affairs from Meatco, now join us with more insight. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Good Morning Namibia.
Good morning, Denver, and thank you for having us here.
As alluded to in the introduction, amongst the numerous challenges, especially as far as industrial challenges are concerned, how have Meatco's operations stabilized over the past 2 years?
Denver, I need to say that Namibia as a country, we are honestly blessed with a lot of natural resources. This includes our land, our fishery, our minerals in terms of mining, and this also obviously includes agriculture, which is either crop or livestock farming. And Namibia as a country, we all know that more than 75 or 70% of our population really depends on these natural resources in order for us to obviously earn an income or to survive. Now, as Meatco, we have been able to do this through our mandate that also creates that conducive environment in terms of us to be able to create employment, to be able to do value addition, to be able to create foreign exchange for the country, because remember, Meatco is a net exporter of beef. So although we are going through all these challenges, we have been really trying to make sure that the Namibian population, more so our farmers, continue to survive in this harsh economic times.
Thank you very much. Ms. Liebenberg, what is your take on how Meatco's operations have stabilized, especially over the past 2 years?
Denver, I think 2019, at the peak of the drought, taught us some lessons. And one of them should be that it's not all about numbers, what you slaughter every year. It's about the quality of cattle. It also taught us that the business model what we had was not taking us into the future. It will not take us into the 2030s. So we need to come to a point where we decide that we need to change strategies and we need to do things differently. At the time, what we did and what we must do now is that we really need to think about throughput in terms of livestock procurement on a monthly basis, constant throughput, but also connected to quality. We need to bring back the realization from the markets, what we can get in the markets, to the producer, to keep the producer on the farm, farming profitably. Meatco should also make profit. We need to look at the company very, very intensively in terms of cutting costs. We need to be efficient and we need to be competitive. The last thing in that, what we learned from 2019, is to reduce our debt, to be able to be profitable in future.
Now, reflecting on those stabilized operations, what has the impact been on Meatco as a net exporter of beef?
I think we came to a point where we need to learn that from 2019 onwards, for the next 2-3 years, up until I think 2023, 2024, we will need to live and operate a business with reduced numbers of cattle, because the drought have seriously reduced the national herd, so the numbers of slaughter cattle are not there. So we need to be we need to put in initiatives in place whereby we can find cattle and get cattle market ready in Namibia to have them slaughter and export the meat. That is my biggest strategy in terms of what we need to do in the meantime, up until the national herd have recovered to such an extent that we can produce slaughter oxen from the veld straight away to the abattoir.
Very well. Ms. Thomas, we do know that in terms of Harambe Prosperity Plan 2, economic advancement and progression is a key pillar. And in fact, agriculture is a key component of that pillar. Help us understand in layperson's terms how Meatco has been contributing to that.
Yes, thank you very much, Denver. We all know that the Harambe Prosperity Plan 2, especially Pillar 2, and under that pillar is there is Activity 3 that says during the coming 5 years, the President has made a very deliberate strategy that will unlock Namibian agriculture sector. So now this also includes, we all know that during the COVID also, we actually realized that we had too much over-reliance on, say, South Africa. Recently we heard that Namibia imports most of its, pork products. And we are saying, as Meatco, we are now also involved in there. We want to mainstream the Namibian economy, because this is what the President is saying, and this is what Harambe specifically is saying. And we have been saying we started also making considerable effort to go back into the NCA. As you know, Meatco for the past 5 years have not been operating in the NCA. We went there, we opened the Katima abattoir, so we were able to create that market for the farmers who were not able to market their livestock for the past 5 years. And really that also is an injection into the Zambezi region economy. Very soon we will also be opening, hopefully, the Rundu abattoir. So in that way we are really creating, we are unlocking those potential that are really there. And Meatco as a company, we are saying if we are having that enabling environment, we are able to unlock those opportunities. We are able to sustain the farmers, like Patrick was saying, in order for the farmers to remain on the farm and be produce for us quality beef products or quality proteins, not necessarily beef. And this is what we are saying. As Meatco, we also want to ensure that as we are doing the net exporting, we are able to get the correct prices back from our markets, especially our international markets, so that we continue to create foreign earnings. We earn that for the country, and in that way it increases the country's GDP. So we are really deliberate, and we want to support the President's call in terms of Harambe Prosperity Plan. And we are only looking forward and hoping that if the environment and the climate is favorable, we are able to do that as Meatco.
Very well. Now, Mr. Liebenberg, from your introductory overview, one has to infer that it cannot be business as usual anymore, particularly as far as the business model is concerned, and you went into quite a bit of detail relating to that. Now, how has Meatco been empowering and familiarizing producers with new market trends?
I think we have strategies in place where we communicate with producers at different levels. We can bring back the information from our international markets and all the markets to the producer. We have products in place that provide the producer with a signal of what to produce, when to produce, at what price to produce, so that the producer can optimize profit on the farm level. So it's important for us to really talk to our stakeholders, the producers, on a direct basis, one-on-one. We visit them, then we go to communal areas where we talk to communal producers. We explain the processes at Meatco, we explain the processes within the market requirement, and we participate at all marketing events throughout the country, so that we are there and we show producers that we are in the market, we are for them in the market, and we protect them in the market.
Speaking about being for them and protecting them, and we are unfortunately running out of time, which mechanisms are in place to protect these producers, particularly against exploitation?
I think for us, with the mandate we have, it's important that we need to look after even the smallest rural producer in the communal area. So we need, as Meatco, we need to do activities, and we need to do things that it might not be profitable today, but might help the farmer in future to become a profitable farmer. So we compete in the marketing environment against the South African feedlots, against all the other buyers, so that we can stabilize prices, especially for communal producers, so that we give those producers a fair return on their investment in terms when they market their animals.
Thank you very much. Mr. Tobias, I do believe this was a very timely engagement. Your concluding remarks this morning, please, as we wrap up.
Yes, before I conclude, I also just wanted to add that not only are we protecting the producers in terms of what Patrick have said, but as Meatco also we do have our local brand which we call the Meatma. Meatma is a brand that was launched 6 years ago by Meatco. It affords or accords the public to be able to source or buy local affordable proteins in terms of value added. Some of them are sausages, some of them are really affordable good proteins, and they are available at our outlets here in the Northern Industry. You know, Shakati, you can find it in Bonanza, in Katima, and we also use other retail shops in order for them to reach these affordable proteins, which is our Woman Brock and the Choppies of this world. So we are really out there and making sure that we are not only just a net exporter, but also we are according the Namibian public. And you'll find them saying, guys, you are always saying you are exporting the best beef in abroad. How about me if I want to also buy that Namibian primal steak? So you can also find those export quality steak at our Food and Lovers shop, especially the one in Vernhill. That's where you can find those export quality primal cuts if then one day you decide you want to spoil yourself and enjoy the same steak that is been exported in Norway. So you can find that at our Food Lovers. But none other than that, you are saying it's time is very limited. What we want to conclude
briefly,
is that you know, the Namibian livestock industry is really affected by so many external factors. This includes things like FMDs, outbreaks, diseases outbreaks can be there. You also have the climate, because this industry so much depends on the climate. But we are really happy that the COP26 meeting that ended on the 13th of November, there is really a commitment from our leaders and political leaders to ensure that this world you know, lives and we continue to sustain our climate if we are to live in this global village that we call our world.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for sharing the Meatco story with us and with the viewers this morning.
Thank you so much, Denver. It was nice being here again.
That was Mr. Patrick Liebenberg, who is the Executive of Livestock as well as Production, and Ms. Rosa Tobias. She is Stakeholder Manager Relations and Corporate Affairs, talking to us about the extent to which Meatco's operations have been stabilizing over the past 2 years in particular. Madam Chizia Wala is standing by with the news at 7.